Welcome back to another adventure in reading the Bible in 1 year with me, the preacher's husband. Today our reading was Genesis chapter 4, 5, and 6. Tomorrow's reading is Genesis chapter 7, 8, and 9. And we are going in chronological order. So I'm just going to point out a few things again that stuck out to me as I read through this. Now, chapter 4 is about Cain murdering his brother Abel. Now, this is a story we've heard tons of times, but something stuck out to me again in this. This time it's verse 10, chapter 4, verse 10, 11, and 12, essentially. And it says, "And he said," this is God speaking, "What have you done? The voice of your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground. So now you are cursed from the earth, which has opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand. When you till the ground, it shall no longer yield its strength to you. A fugitive and a vagabond you shall be on the earth." And of course, Cain was devastated because what did Cain do? What was his profession? His profession was a tiller, one who tills the soil. He farmed, he grew things. But now that he couldn't do that, Cain felt that this was an unbearable punishment because pretty much God took away everything that he would have used to be successful in life. And he just wanted to die. But of course, God said, "No, I'm going to put this mark on you, and anybody that kills you is going to have sevenfold the punishment." So that didn't happen. Cain was cursed. Now, the family of Cain, I'm going to point out that the family of Cain, this curse continued into their family because none of his family members, from Cain all the way through Lamech and his children, none of them were tillers of the soil. They all did arts, they did crafts, they were tradesmen, they were people who did odd jobs, things like that. They were, one in particular was, played the harp and the flute. Another one was Tubal-Cain, who was an instructor of every craftsman in bronze and iron. Some were also nomads and shepherds, keepers of livestock, but none of them were farmers. So, that being said, since Cain killed Abel, there's no other son from Adam and Eve. So Adam and Eve ended up having another son, Seth. Now, in Seth's line, they were worker bees, and they lived a long time. When you get to the end of this line here, you see that Methuselah lived to be 969 years. All right, and then this is where some things start to change. God began to notice some things about humanity. And in chapter 6, he starts seeing the wickedness and the judgment of man. He cast judgment upon man. What happened was in chapter 6, it says here, "Now it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born to them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men that were beautiful." So God was continuing to create. And the sons of God saw that the daughters of men were beautiful, and they started taking wives for themselves, as many as they wanted, not just one, but many. And also, Lamech, who was from Cain's line, also took multiple wives. This was looked at as, from God, as a sin of the flesh, or a worldly claim, someone who wanted more worldly things than they did spiritual. So remember, we talked about that in our daily devotionals about the spiritual health versus your worldly health, and your spiritual needs and wants versus your worldly needs and wants. That's apparent here as well. So there's that stood out like a sore thumb to me. He got ill. He was upset. And the Lord said in verse 3, "My spirit shall not strive with man forever, for he is indeed flesh. Yet his days shall be 120 years. So he took away that ability to live for 969 years and to be older than Methuselah, as they say in the old days. And he put that all aside. Now, 120 years, yes, your max. That's all you get. Now, next up becomes Noah. Noah shows up, right? And God was ill at people, and he wanted to cleanse the earth. And God said, Noah, listen here. I want you to build a boat. Noah looks up at God and says, really? You want me to build a what? A boat? He goes, yes, no, I want you to build a boat. There's going to be this flood. I want you to put some animals in it. And Noah's like, God, do you know how hard it is to find water around here? And you're telling me that all this area here is going to flood? I find that hard to believe. But God said, here's what's going to happen. You're going to get a male and a female of all the species. You're going to put them on a boat, and you're going to get your family. You're going to get your sons and daughters and their wives, and you're going to put them all on this boat, and I'm going to flood the earth. And Noah said, well, okie dokie. I guess I'll do what you tell me, God, but people are going to be looking at me funny. And God's like, yeah, they will, but this is what you're going to do. So he does it. And that brings us to chapter 7. So put in the comment section something that really stood out to you and something that you really enjoyed about this one, this scripture, chapter 4, 5, and 6 of Genesis, and I will respond to those comments as soon as you post them or as soon as I can get to it after you posted them. Blessings. I hope this has touched you. If it has, give it a share, like it, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and click the little notification button so you can get notified the next time I upload a video. And I will see you next time. Remember, Genesis chapter 7, 8, and 9 is next.